All right, let's talk about the new digital SAT. If you're prepping for it, you've definitely heard about the biggest change, this whole adaptive testing thing. And yeah, it can cause a lot of confusion, maybe even a little bit of stress, but that's what we're here for. Today, we're going to take that anxiety and turn it into your secret weapon. Let's build your game plan.
So let's just get right to it. This is the big fear, isn't it? You're in the middle of the test, things suddenly get way harder, and that little voice in your head starts whispering that the test is designed to trick you, to make you fail. It's a totally normal feeling, but we're about to completely flip that idea on its head. This right here, this is the whole mindset shift we're aiming for. You see, top scorers have a secret, and it's not just about memorizing more math formulas. It's about understanding the psychology of the test itself. They see a hard question not as a threat, but as a sign they're on the right track. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and see how this whole adaptive system actually works. And the number one thing to get in your head from the get-go is that its purpose is not to scare you. It really is that simple. The test is just trying to figure out your exact skill level as quickly and efficiently as possible. Think of it like this. If you're having a conversation and you show you get the basics, the other person will naturally start talking about more advanced stuff, right? The test is doing the same thing. It's a measuring tool, and its only goal is to be accurate. To really master this thing, you have to understand the mechanics of how it sorts you. Once you see how the machine works, you can start working with it instead of feeling like you're fighting against it. So each section, reading and writing or math, is broken down into two parts. Think of them as Module 1 and Module 2. Module 1 is like the qualifying round. It's a mix of easy, medium, and hard questions, and it's just trying to get a baseline reading of your skills. Then, based on how you do there, the test decides which version of Module 2 it's going to give you. And this is where it gets really interesting. You're basically at a fork in the road. If you do well in that first module, boom, you get sent down the path with harder questions. If you struggle a bit, you get routed to an easier path. But, and this is huge, that word harder is not a bad thing. In fact, it's exactly what you want. Seriously, let this sink in. Burn this into your brain. Getting harder questions does not, I repeat, does not mean your score is going down. It actually means the exact opposite. And not understanding this simple fact is probably the single biggest mental trap on the entire SAT. So let's go ahead and dismantle that trap right now. We're going to dig into why your brain's immediate panic reaction is not only wrong, but is actively working against your goal of getting a great score. You know the feeling. You hit Module 2, and the third question in looks like it was written on another planet. Immediately, that thought just screams in your head, I'm failing. You start to doubt yourself. You second-guess answers you knew 5 minutes ago, and the panic spiral begins. Sound familiar? That reaction, it is completely 100% fundamentally wrong. It's a total misreading of the signals the test is sending you. Okay, so let's flip the script. When you see a hard question, it's a reward. It's the test telling you, hey, you did great in Module 1. You've literally unlocked the high score path. And on this path, correct answers are worth more points, which means you now have access to the highest possible scores. So that feeling of difficulty isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of success. Panicking at this moment is like a quarterback getting his team to the 10-yard line and then just deciding to quit. It's pure self-sabotage. Okay, mindset, check. Now let's get tactical. How do you actually turn this new understanding into a real, concrete strategy on test day? Let's build that game plan. For Module 1, your entire focus is on one thing: accuracy. This is not the time to rush. Your job is to be careful. Your goal is to lock in every single easy and medium question correctly. Think of it like this. Every correct answer here buys you insurance for later. A strong start gives you a buffer to miss a couple of tough ones in Module 2 and still walk away with an amazing score.
Now, when you get to Module 2, you have to go in expecting a challenge. Know that it's coming. The questions will feel harder because they are harder, and that's your cue to shift tactics. Don't speed up, actually slow down a bit. Be more deliberate. Eliminate wrong answers with more care. And hey, if you hit an absolute brick wall on a question, mark it for review and move on. Protect your time and your confidence.
This is so critical. Adaptive tests punish panic spirals, not individual mistakes. Getting stuck on one monster question and letting it rattle you can mess up your performance on the next 5. But making an educated guess on that one question and moving on confidently, that preserves your overall score. One miss will not define your test.
Because ultimately, after all the prep, all the practice tests, the difference between a good score and a truly great score often just comes down to the battle being fought between your own ears. I mean, just look at this comparison. It's not about knowledge, it's about behavior. Top scorers expect the test to get harder. They see it as part of the game plan. So when the pressure's on, they stay calm and trust their strategy. Other students get rattled. They panic, they reread the same question 5 times, and they burn through their most valuable resource: time.
It's really that direct. The way you manage your thoughts under pressure has a real, tangible impact on that number you get back. That's why your mental prep is every bit as important as your academic prep. In the end, your mindset is your score.
So let's bring it all home. The first, most important takeaway: stop seeing the test's design as something you have to fight against. The adaptive difficulty is not your enemy. Instead, you have to learn to see it as a complement. When those questions get harder, it's basically the SAT tipping its hat to you and saying, "Okay, you've proven you belong on this level. Let's see what you can really do." It's an acknowledgement of your skill. Look, this is a game, and it has a very clear set of rules. And now that you know the rules, you can use them to your advantage. So understand the system, anticipate its moves, and execute your strategy. Play the game. Don't let it play you. And that's the final thought I want to leave you with. Knowledge isn't power until you use it. You now understand the mechanics and the mindset behind the digital SAT. So the only real question left is, how are you going to adapt?